K-Rino Radio. Ha. K-Rino Radio. Ha. Ha. Let's tell them about it. You're listening to K-Rino Radio on 90.1. Who is he? What is he? What does he do? Where is he from? H-Town, where the independent grind was invented. Understand, I'm the property owner, you just a tenant. KPFT is the station and location for the really special guests. Good knowledge and information for the coldest on the air. We making a strong case. If you scared of the truth, then you in the wrong place. Every Friday, 11 o'clock p.m. Central. We cooking the game, serving it up, feeding your mental. You can even call in, dial 713, backdoor with 526 KPFT. We ain't playing with them, we gon' tell it like it is, partner. Out of town, KPFT.org, yeah, we got ya. How'd I get on the airways? I know y'all like, wow, K-Rino Radio, homie, starting right about now. Yeah, we got ya. How'd I get on the airways? I know y'all like, wow, K-Rino Radio, homie, starting right about now.
This is the reason for the season, man. We have with us tonight,
who?
Man, the one and only.
What?
The legendary. There's so many adjectives that we can use to describe my sister, man. And I'm going to try to go through as many of them as I can. She is the embodiment of consistency and longevity and hard work as an artist in the city of Houston and in the music industry on a whole. And of all the years that I've been in music, of all the years that Houston has had a scene, there has not been one female artist that has laid a foundation and kept it going as steady as this sister that's sitting to my left right now. And I ain't saying it just because she down with us. I'm saying it because it's a fact, man.
The proof is in the pudding.
South Park Coalition, Screwed Up Click. I first heard on the Gorilla Mob album way back in the days, man. Ooh. Hustle Hard Entertainment CEO, female CEO, rapper, singer, activist, over 20 plus years in the business, man. I want to introduce my sister, the one and only Miss Houston herself. Cliche is in the building.
Houston in the building.
What's up, everybody?
What's up,
you know, I give grand introductions to my guests.
Man, I just wanted to sit here and just listen to the rest of that interview you was talking about.
Man,
Houston in the house.
Look, we gonna give props where they are due, man. And as Keisto is setting it up so we can make sure that you get your visual to match your audio, you know, because everything we do goes up on YouTube.
That's
and
right.
That way it introduces you to a whole nother audience. Shout out to the homie Tricky C who was in the building, man.
DJ Tricky.
Where's Craig? Get that mic close
Tricky
to
C
you,
in the
man.
house. Craig.
What's going on?
Where's Craig? Mr. Muhammad.
Put the deep voice on
No
it.
doubt, man. No doubt.
Where Craig at?
And my OG brother CMC in the building also, man.
Watch
So,
out.
What's up,
JCMC.
What's going on?
I'm thinking about something when I was thinking about Cliche early in doing this video. And I ain't getting biblical and spiritual, right? You know, even though we are spiritual people. But I thought about the passage that says that the race is not to the swift, but to the one who can endure to the end. And the reason why I thought about that in relation to you is because, again, we have seen a lot of artists pop up in the city. They spark and they hit that lick, and then they gone. Then another one will pop up, they hot for a while, they hit that lick, and then they gone. Because the race is not to the swift, but to the one who can endure to the end.
Oh, no.
And you have absolutely endured to the end and still going. The end ain't even nowhere near sight.
Man, come on.
But what I want to start off, I want to ask you, what interested you in music in an early age? Because you have a I keep trying to get away from these spiritual terms. You have like an anointing
Please,
in you,
yes.
where you in music seem to be one. What started you in music in the early age? What was your first interest in the music business?
I believe it's from the love of music that my dad actually has. He's like a Michael Jackson fanatic, and he wasn't an artist in them, but he sure was an entertainer. You know, my daddy brought life to the scene. He just loved music, so I was always around it. He had the fanciest cars with the loudest music back in the game when I was really, really young. So I always heard it. My mother loved music. All she did, but I think maybe during that time when I was young, back in the 80s, like that, it just seemed like everybody just loved that feel good music. It didn't matter. And we was always around music. And whom my mom had married my brother's dad, he listened to nothing but music. So I just grew up just around a lot of the Shirley Murdochs and what's my girl name? Stephanie Mills, the Tina Marie's, the real music, like they got that. So I just loved music. And I would do it, and I've always been singing like all of my life. My mom brought me this little recorder thing. I can remember this at the age of 9 years old, and I used to always record myself singing or making up a song just to listen back, just personally for myself. I'll be in the closet where it's not even realizing what I was doing. Like that's gave me my nice sound in the closet.
Cause that's your first booth.
That was my first booth, and God is my witness. I still have that recorder till this day. I kept that. It was a toy recorder thing, and it still works if I put batteries in it. Wow. I just was praying like, oh God, what if I run across one of my tapes that I made? Oh man. And I just was singing. I always listen back and I would sing the Shirley. I love the As We Lay song, the Stephanie Mills songs back in the game, Janet Jackson. And back in the days they had the vinyl. So, you know, on the vinyl they actually had the song lyrics like on them, and I the credits in the song lyrics. So I used to read them and learn them and write them down over and over again until I learned them, the Janet Jackson album and all that stuff, and just sing. So that was my first experience, is just, you know, the love of music from my family, my mom and my dad, just listening to music. And then I liked to do it, and then I always used to watch my dad entertain. I had that same type of energy, so it kind of went in together. Then I just started doing it. Then I started connecting with people that had studios that was telling my mom, hey, let your daughter come over here and record. I got a microphone. And, you know, anywhere there was a mic, I was happy to get it. You know, everybody happy to get on a mic, and especially as a kid. I'm talking about a kid as young as 8, 9 years old at that time. So that was my first experience.
But even with that, a lot of people can grow up and be in a household with music and love music, but you still got to have the talent to be able to do it. So you had the talent, you got the pipes, you know. So was that ever a time before you got introduced to rap that you ever thought about being just straight, purely a singer?
Yes, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you how I go, because anybody know Cliche, they know I got a whole bunch of energy. The thing was this with me with singing, even till this day, and you gonna vouch for this. It's just like I was singing, but I was like, it's too boring. I wanted to get crunk. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So then all of a sudden they started having, you know, female rappers like Boss, I don't really want to feel, you know, Boss and the Queen Latifahs and MC Lights, and man, they was crunk, and I wanted to say what they were saying, you know. Man, and wait a minute, the homegirls, you must pay. So listen close to Salt and Pepper. And me and my cousin, we were Salt and Pepper. So that was fun. And that was the energy. So even though I could sing, it was like, I want to rap because of the energy. So I chose. And it was like, you gonna sing or you gonna rap? And then I was like, I want to rap. And then once I started growing to become that artist, I started learning how to interpret both. And then when I was singing, and then some people were like, oh, these are not club songs, or these not things, they just laid back songs. So I'm like, I don't want to sing anyway, because I think it's boring too. But I'm like, okay, bam. You know, I started learning how to make my singing crunk to fit in with, you know, with that energy and the way I wanted to, you know, sing it and make it go with the rap. I got to have some energy in the show.
I mean, yeah, you absolutely have just become that hybrid of being able to incorporate the rapping and the singing, because anybody who have seen Cliche's live performance, seen her on stage, they know that it's going to be an attention-grabbing, captivating performance that you got to look at.
You got to.
She's not the kind of artist you be like, and then you walk off and go get something to drink, you know, because she commands your attention.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah,
and it's not commanding attention. The attention is commanded through the magnetism of the performance.
Yeah,
and a lot of artists don't. That's something you either have or you don't.
Yeah,
plain and simple. I want to ask you about your journey in terms of the industry side of it, because when you were speaking about just coming up in the 80s and all that, and we know, can speak from experience, we would make our records, make our demos, and we would send them off to major labels to try to get signed.
Right.
Now, I don't know what your journey was, but I just know from knowing you now that you have, for as long as I've been knowing you, you've been on an independent grind. You've been doing everything independently. Has that always been your journey, or did it kind of happen by circumstances? Did you try to get with the majors at one point? How did that whole thing develop to where now you CEO just doing it yourself?
Right. Yeah. I think I went that same route like you guys did, because, you know, I guess hip hop was fairly new, like back in the 80s.
Yeah.
The whole rap singing, the whole industry of it. So I started out, I ain't gonna say I started out looking for a deal first. That's not what happened. Yeah. What happened was me rapping and people hearing it. I guess it was the time for people that had a little money to start a label, start the independent label in Houston. They were looking for talent and artists, so they like, you know, somebody recommended Cliche to somebody. Right. And I gotta give a shout out to his brother, because I forgot about him a long time ago when I was saying that. My first album was not my first start, because I would say that all the time, but it was a single that I had recorded with this guy named Kokomo. That was the first song. I'll never forget. It was a remake of Hit and Run. Yeah. You played your game so well. But it was a dude that was singing a hook, and I was going off like from the female perspective of it. And it was a single. The guy was investing money into me, and we were getting ready to put that out, but it didn't follow through because some other situations. Because see, back in the game, you had a lot of D-boys that was being there, and then they got caught up in situations. Then there go my situation.
When he fall, the whole record company falls.
And it falls, and then, you know, Clee got to keep moving. You know, I'm going to keep moving, so then somebody else is interested, and they like, hey, we want to put out an album on you. And actually, I don't know how I met this guy. I don't remember how I met Leslie Shears, but the guy who invested into my first album, Classified Lady, is Leslie Shears and Jewel Carmack. And they from the South Acres area over there, and they invested into my first album, and I started recording it with the producer Rakesh Jacob, who also produced Gorilla Mob and Zero and all of them, who actually started Gorilla Mob and put everybody together. That's how we all started working together, because we were working with Rakesh Jacob. A lot of people don't know that.
Shout out to Rock.
This is a straight Indian guy that actually artist developed me, Zero, Dougie, and all of them, and Trey, and all of them, but, you know, they probably would never give him that crop, but I was there, and I seen it. He taught us how to do our ad-libs. He taught us how to structure a song. He taught us how to count our bars into, you know, make a complete song, and actually, that's how I learned how to mix, how I knew how to record, how to do my ad-libs, and that's how I sound like I sound today because of him. So I got to give a big shout out to him, because he's a very valuable piece of my life in the beginning of my career that gave me some tools that a lot of people still don't have today, you know. So I'm thankful for that, because that made me a special piece right now.
That's a blessing. She's talking about song structuring, and see, I've met people who have been like in the game 8-9 years, and they don't really still know how to write a 16. Right. You know. Right. So to learn that at an early age was very valuable, because you came in the game early. Mm-hmm. You came in super young, so you got a lot of hands-on training out the gate, like basically teenager. Coming in the game. So that had to be very valuable. You mentioned the Classified Lady album, and something you was telling me the other day, because she worked so hard.
Hard
that she wasn't even aware. She had lost. Didn't even have the thought that this was the 20-year anniversary
for real
of the Classified Lady album that came out. In what, in 98?
1998. Yep, so, that Rakesh had produced that whole album.
Now think about this. Now, a lot of rappers, period, haven't been able to sustain and maintain for 20 years. So to have that, I was glad that however that information got to you, it got to you, because as independent artists, we have to always make sure a lot of times that we make known our own milestones and accomplishments like that. So that's a big thing for you to have 20 years in between your first release and going stronger now than you was back then.
Yes, and I have to give a shout out to the brother that actually brought it to my attention. I did an interview last week on Off the Cuff Radio. It's a blog talk radio. My brother Eric. There, I never met him personally, and he's out in Raleigh, North Carolina. So, you know, he brought it to my attention that it was my 20 year. He like, yo, it's your 20 year. I'm like, you know what? I never even thought about that. It sure is. Yeah. Oh my God. Because it doesn't feel like it's been 20 years, because it's like, you would think that person ought to be old. You're like, what? You got an album out in 20 years? But I'm 38. So, you know, like 20 years, that'll tell you a lot, because I started working on my first album. Let me take you back to 13. I started being involved in the industry with talent shows at the age of 13. Wow. When I turned 17, that's when I was in negotiations for my first record deal with, well, I ain't gonna say record deal because I didn't sign to that person label. That person came in as an investor. And thanks to Rakesh once again, because he taught me a lot about the business. So he always taught me to always stay signed to yourself and don't sign with people. So he actually made me the president of the label that my first album was on. So I still own that, just like everybody else owned it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to. I didn't want to be that. I just wanted to be like, I just want to rap, and I just want to go do shows and be live and crunk, and y'all handle that. You know what I mean? But I had to learn it though.
Well, the blessing was you was under the wing of somebody who understood that you didn't know it, but basically forced you to know it, because a lot of people take advantage. They take advantage of our naive mindset at the time, and they'll say, "Well, he don't know. He don't know about publishing. Let me take control of it," and things of that nature. So, you know, again, shout out to Rakesh. We sitting here with Cliche, man. Miss Houston is in the building. If y'all want to call in and holler at her, the number is 713-526-KPFT. 713-526-5738. Shout out to everybody that's on Facebook Live checking us out, man. Look, we explosive up in here tonight, man. It's going down, man, straight up. Let me ask you this, because we getting down to the nitty gritty. This whole hour belongs to you. I want to talk to you about the struggles of a female artist, because we know, we just being real, this is a male-dominated industry, from the owners of the labels to the producers to the rappers, and even just the numbers. It's more males doing it than females. Explain some of the struggles that a female may go through, if any, and explain to me how you've been able to kind of navigate through that and still carve a way for yourself, and advice to other women that's trying to do the same.
Okay, well, you already know the first struggle. Everybody want to.
Right.
So most of the time you got dudes that want to, you know, however they want to work with you, from doing a track all the way to doing shows, this and that. And because I came in the game knowing that, I always came with an approach that I kind of made half on scared to even play with me like that. So, and that comes a lot from being under a household with a strong mother that was like that. We, you know, we ain't letting no dude think they was running us and none of that. We had our own, and what you want, you know, that was what you need. Now, and that was me at a young age, because that was my mama, you know. But I had to deal with that accordingly. Even some of them that were nice, that I was cool with, and you got to find a way to kind of turn them down nicely, because I'm working. I don't talk to my friends. That's what happened with me and Tricky C. We've been friends for years, and when the approach came, I'm like, hey, I don't talk to my friends, you know, because it was just what I was used to. And then finally I got grown enough, and I'm like, hey, you know, I might need to talk to my friends. I need a friend.
Real
you know what I mean? A real friend, So what you was asking? What else?
And also, because what she's saying is that as a female artist, you know, you trying to get in just like the males are trying to get in, but then you got this guy that said, well, yeah, I can make you some beats.
And you just want to rap.
Just come by my crib. I got a studio at my house.
But I want to rap.
Yeah, and that's something that's a serious, prevalent issue in the industry with females, or even if you got guys that are in positions of power that can take a female's career to the next level, they may do it, but at a price.
Yep.
You do something for me, I do something for you.
Right.
So that's a major thing. But the thing you said that stood out was like, you let them know out the gate.
Yeah.
It ain't that kind.
Anybody that know cliche, they can probably, the first thing they'll probably want to tell, probably but not about me today, but if they knew me from back then, they'll tell you a lot of people would, I would say, probably didn't like my attitude. But I purposely put it there.
Right.
I purposely put it there because I was about my business, and that's how I got some things done.
A woman has to be twice as assertive because of that, because once you do that, then it puts guys in the mind frame like any dealings that I have with this woman is gonna be strictly business. So what would you tell, so I guess that would answer the question, how would you tell other women coming in how to kind of navigate through those types of situations?
That's a good question, because I mean, I still do talk to a lot of the up and coming female artists in Houston and around that kind of deal with that, you know, right now. And the thing is that I tell them is that you got to be straight up and you got to let them know. Because a lot of them are so nice, or they feel like I'm trying to be successful and I don't want to ruin this opportunity, and I just don't say nothing. You know, and then you let it keep happening until it turns into a worst case scenario where you're still not working with the person anyway. Right. So I'd be like, no, you need to let them know, look, if we're going to work together, let's work.
We're going to work
together. You know, look, you need to go over there with your wife in the other room and leave me alone. Because we done went through that. I mean, I done had friends out of town that had called me that I had to buy plane tickets for to help them get out of situations. They was working with producers out of town, people that had signed them to one label deal or whatever. They go out of town to work with them, and then this person got them in the corner trying to holler at them while they got a whole family in the next room. And they're like, I gotta go.
I know a sister, I know an artist who actually told me that because of going through those types of situations as a female artist, it made her go out and buy equipment and learn how to do all that stuff herself. Learn how to make beats and all.
It motivated her.
Yeah. So she was like, I don't have to deal with that now because I can do all this at my house now, you know. So it's all kinds of twists and turns to it. We talking to Miss Houston Cliche is in the building, man. Once again, it's the number 713-526 KPFT. We getting fed already, but we are not full. It's something else I noticed that you do on a regular basis that has always been impressive, and me and Murder see this firsthand because we're around you a lot, is the way that you are able to balance career and motherhood at the same time.
You know, I commend her for that.
I mean, that's
since day one.
Yeah, see you on it, man.
And Black Cat, of course, you know, is a testament to that. It's like, that's another challenge in itself. How are you able to successfully do that? Because I've seen Cliche at the studio with the babies.
With the babies.
At the photo shoot with the babies.
At the party.
At the LOC meeting with the babies, you know. But that's a beautiful thing. I mean, because also it kind of cultivates them and gives them a hands-on. So how are you able to make that happen as well?
You just said it. With the babies. Bring them with you. Look, like, it definitely takes, I'm not the most organized person in the world.
Me neither.
But when I do something, I know you. True. I'm not the most organized person, but where we are organized is when we set a project before us and we will structure.
Right.
We do have that because we got our focus on this project. And with me knowing that I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, because they always tell you in the music industry coming up, oh, once you get pregnant, it's over. Yeah. You know, it's over for you. Right. So anything that someone ever told me back in the game that I couldn't do, or, you know, women can't do, I show you that I could. Because I don't need you to do it. I'll do it myself and show you. Right. So that was always my mentality. You know what I mean? So when it came to the kids, it was like, okay, I don't have to stop being who I am just because, hold on. Oh, yeah, I don't have to stop being who I am just because, the kids then came into my life. I could still be the artist Cliche. I could still be their mama. I could still do what I was doing before, but in a different way. I had to structure different, just like that album. Now I got to put a balance right here.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
How am I going to invest this into my kids, invest this in my music if I'm going to do this? And I still got to make money to pay bills because, you know, rent ain't free.
No doubt.
Bills ain't free. The lights ain't free.
Without
you know?
a doubt.
And then as well, but even before kids, I had invested into my own studio as well, where I record at home. But I did that so I don't be out at other people's studios, you know, getting shot up. Or none of that, because no, seriously, I've been there and I have just left and it just went down. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that easily could have been me. Thank you, Lord, it wasn't. So, you know, it was like, you know what, the world is changing. So I started adjusting to where it was comfortable for me to continue to do what I do. I love to do music. Yeah. Now, what the cliche don't love to do, I love to perform, but I don't like to be in a club late at night. Right. You know, even before I had kids, I didn't like to be in the club late at night. So I'd be like, ooh, Lord, I just want to be, if I could just do daytime events and festivals, I am fine with that, Lord. Just so, you know, God also told me, you know, you got to start walking in the direction you want to go. Yeah. And I know where I want to go, because I'm like, dang, do rap have to keep me? You know, I've been, me and my bro D Gotti, we at Wreck Shop Records. We outside. We get robbed at gunpoint with guns to our head. Wow. Robbed right out there. Waiting on Big Mo. We went to the store for Big Mo at the time, and I'm praying to God that he don't walk out the door, because the dude got the gun on us is shaking. Right. And it's just like, I'm just saying, going through all these different little obstacles throughout the years, it made me structure my life to be in a more safer environment as being an artist, and doing things more smarter, working more smarter than harder. You know, it is still hard because I got kids. And it's harder by time management. Yeah. So you got to have that when you do that. But now they made it a lot easier with us with digital. Right. You know, so, you know, and to be honest, K-Rino, you know, Cliche don't do no shows. And I was kind of like this in the beginning of my first album, because I'm not the type of person you just going to just see me kind of like everywhere for nothing. Right. Right. I don't do no shows unless it's S.P.C shows or it's outreach. Right. Those with a purpose, yeah. Yeah, and you know, and don't get me wrong, I support people when people want me to come out and do free stuff all the time. I can't do it. But if my heart moved me to do it, I do it, because that's a part of the outreach that I was a part of, or something I believe in to help for some reason. But I don't just be out there, especially not in the clubs on a late night. Yeah, you know? I mean, I tell people all the time, if I wasn't in the game, I would never see the inside of a club. And I'll be off social media. We just got through talking about that. We are in the building with Cliche. I wanted to ask you about Hustle Hard Entertainment, because it's classified entertainment. I meant to say
changed. Okay, it's classified.
No, I never had Hustle Hard Entertainment. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, well that's.
But I had the Hustle Hard series.
That's my fumble.
But I be hustling hard, so you know.
Without a doubt. Classified Entertainment, which is your own label, own production company, your own thing. Was that out of necessity, or was that just out of the mind frame to just, I want to be a female mogul, I want to build my own and be the one who call the shots? Or was it kind of like the industry, like that mainstream commercialized sector of it kind of made me be like, I'm going to do this myself because I'm gaining an understanding of how this thing really works?
I'm going to take you back to what we just talked about with Rakesh when I was in there and he was placing me in positions. I'm like, okay, but I just want to rap. Remember that. I just want to rap. I don't want to do the rest of the stuff. So that came about once I wasn't working with the guy anymore from my first album. That came about with me having to drop my next projects like independently, and it was like, okay, you got to come up with your own label now. You know what I mean? Right. So my first album was what? Classified Lady. Right. So the label, and it's spelled CLASYFYD. Don't add no I's, just because I'm classified for whatever. That's what I used to say a long time ago. Classified for whatever. Right. So that came about after the first project. Just he like, hey, you gotta have a name with it. So I just threw a name to it. It wasn't because I did not want to be putting out my own albums. I don't.
Why not?
Because it's a lot of work. Yeah. I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I just want to rap, and I want to do my shows, and I want to just have fun. Yeah. That's what most of these rappers want to do. But I'm so thankful for going through the time of having to build these things and do these things myself, because it got me independently where I'm at today, and still own all of my music, still own it. And let me tell you right now, I'm still currently going back and re-administrating a lot of my music right now, because the game is different now. So a lot of music has to be registered differently now, because we didn't have digital media platforms back then. So we got to go back. So when we, like a K-Rino and got 155 albums, you know what I mean? You got to go back on 20 to 30 albums per song, because, you know, we used to fill up the whole CD back then. So 20, 30 album songs and go back and minister all of them. So I'm still doing that right now off of all of my albums that I have.
Well, I mean, and it is hard, because coming from the era that we come from, and like you said, we really wasn't really versed in that or schooled in that, then you got to try. It's like somebody who went to high school 25, 30 years ago, then we may have dropped out or something. Now we trying to go back and take courses again.
Oh, no.
You got to start all over and kind of learn it, because things have
now.
changed. The curriculums are different. So everything you're saying as far as with the digital outlets and the publishing and things of that nature, we got to not relearn, in a lot of cases, just learn.
Yeah, because
period.
it wasn't around back then.
Right.
Like,
it was around publishing and all that, but
no, not publishing,
not the digital
part of it, because those are other outlets for us to get paid now.
Right.
Because now you got your stream and play, and you have things that we didn't have. We didn't have to worry about all of the different ways to get paid which is a plus for us. But you got to learn them, and that's something that I do to this day. I stay online. I'm on webinars. I'm on YouTube, and I'm learning all the different digital strategies. You have to right now. They grew up in this era. It's just like with these smartphones. Yeah. And when they first came out, I hated them because I had the flip phone. You just dial a number, and I don't know how we used to do this, but we used to text with them little three alphabets on each number, and boy, be texting away. But baby, when I tell you, when they come with that smartphone, I couldn't touch not one alphabet, and it was saying all kind of crazy stuff. I was like, oh, keep giving me a flip phone. I kept telling them, I don't want that phone. Give me another flip, and till they just say they don't sell them no more. Yeah. So I was kind of like you a little bit back then. I didn't want to change.
Just let it be known. I'm still a dinosaur.
They forced me. They forced me on this now. So, you know, I'm learning how to make it benefit me. You know what I mean? So all the digital streaming plays and all that, I'm still working on it, and I'm still building up and adding all of my albums back onto it.
Which leads me to the next phase, because everything that she's saying, y'all, is so important for the back end. If you're thinking about yourself as an artist, the history of music in particular for black people has always been that we are the talent. We go out there, we perform, we record, then somebody else makes the money off of us. And then you live, you become famous, you generate a lot of money, you sell a lot of records, you die, and somebody else feeds their family for generations off of your blood, sweat, and tears and all of your work. So all of these things that are taking place now, and all of these courses of learning that we're going through, are putting us in positions to where we don't have to do that, to where anything that comes in, whatever it is falling in our pockets, as opposed to somebody else who has no talent and making all the money. So I'm a segue into what we have been doing for the last 4, coming up on 5 years, which is the ARC and Artist Respect and Community. Shout out to big brother Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, because for people who don't know, the ARC, it stands for Artist Respect and Community, and we got together about 4 years ago, rappers, singers, tap dancers, I don't care what you do. You shoot marbles real good, yeah. We just want to get together and try to educate each other and ourselves on how to benefit from our own art. And in the beginning, that was kind of the premise, but now it's translated also into community activism and community work. And Cliche has been at the forefront of that since day one. Powerful. In the ARC, and just grabbed the baton and is sprinting full speed now. And we all on the job learning, but you've done a great job in really grabbing this thing by the horns and giving it a life and creating a base where people can come and learn. Just speak about your take on the ARC for a little bit.
Right. Like you said, Artist Respecting Community has started with us about 4 years ago. We meet at the mosque. We still do to this day, bi-monthly now. But we would meet at the mosque like every third Sunday. And we were coming together, actually, like you ain't said, but, you know, you always say it. You like, we just kind of feeling our way to kind of feel like what we're going to do. We want to do community and do for community, but how we going to do this? How we going to maneuver all the resources we have? What we going to do? What's our plan? So I sat there, you know, I'm right there next to you for the past 4 years as we kind of feeling our way through it. So bam, all of a sudden this year it hit.
Right.
Like bam. With the guidance of Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, you know, of guiding us, we started finding our purpose of what this group is made for and what it's really needed for, especially once we started kind of being a little bit active as a unit out there. So I could say this year has been the most prominent year that we actually been putting our foot in, and now we kind of knowing where we going, because it's kind of, you know, it ain't kind of, it's taking off. We've been out there, we feeding the homeless, we out there connecting, you know, sisters with domestic violence, dealing with the youth, working in the schools with Brother Jerry Monroe. Artist Respecting Community is not just rappers, you know what I mean? And when you are artist, when you a listener to our music, the creativeness in your mind, that makes you you an artist in some form, some kind of way. And people, if you affiliated in the hip hop whole, just the culture of it, that makes you ARC. If you believe in building up the community, utilizing our hip hop culture, that's basically what it is. So I mean, with us now, like setting a lot of more engagements, I guess I call them, I don't want to call them events because it's not a show, you know what I mean? The engagements like we're working on now, setting up the bridge to gap for the new school and old school. I don't want to say old school because we ain't old up in here, baby. We the juice, you know what I'm saying? But you know, the feuding that's going on between us Houston artists, and they setting the tone out there as if we divided. You got people with personal beef. That doesn't mean the whole entire hip hop community in Houston is divided like that, and that it's not that all the OGs feel this way about the new school, not all the new school feel this way about the old school. So we want to set a new tone, and that's what Artist Respecting Community is for. So we're going to step in and we're going to set a new tone. That's what we're going to do. We're going to invite all them that was beefing to come to the table. If they show up, they show up. They don't, we're going to still run. The world going to see it. They're going to see what we stand for. Now the mass majority going to follow the lead, or, you know what I mean? Or it's going to go the way it's been going. Because one thing Wicked Cricket said, he say the real going to always stand. He say, but the fake is going to fade away.
That's right.
So we know it's been a lot of faking out here, just period, especially in the hip hop world.
Right.
So, you know, it's just a lot of, you know, just song characters, and now they feeling the urge, they got to live it out. You know, bring it to life, and it's just to prove a point. Lose your life to prove a point. You can have it, bro. You can have it, sis. Me back in the game, I know y'all be like, man, because I used to be out there. Well, I know, but today, because I'm older now and I put those childish things away, you can have it. But most of the time, it's because of misunderstandings. You know what I mean? And I feel like if people would start talking to each other face to face instead of on social media or on Facebook, I think, you know, I mean, for the grown folks, you know what I mean? You can sit at the table when we can talk this out, and what's the problem?
If you're really seeking a solution, you know, a lot of people, we can't be victims of just internet courage, where because if I'm just in a room by myself going live, I can talk as crazy as I want to talk, but at some point you got to venture out into the streets, and somebody's going to call you on what you've been saying. But what you just said, when you said if you are an artist and you're just out here and have a concern for what's going on, you are already a part of the ARC. And that was big. That statement itself was big, because again, all we want to do is tie everybody together and bring the city together and give people a base that they can come to. If there's any type of situation, whether it be music business related, you may not understand a certain part of the business and you trying to learn about it, you can contact us. And if you contact me and I don't know, I'm going to plug you in with somebody who does know, because we don't act like we got all the answers. But also, just through what's called the Justice or Else Local Organizing Committee, which was started after the Million Man March by Minister Farrakhan. There's a local chapter here in Houston. You have conflict resolution initiatives in place to where it doesn't matter. It could be you and your mama got an issue. If you want to resolve that conflict, you can reach out. And just on a quick commercial break, the LOC, the Local Organizing Committee, meets every Thursday at Shape Community Center at 3815 Live Oak at 7 p.m. So I don't care who you are, but we're speaking to artists because we are artists. If you say that I got a concern for what's going on out here, I want to do better, I want to fix these streets, I want to help, I want to be one of those kind of artists, then show up. Or just say it, because a lot of people reach out and say, well, man, when y'all have another one of them meetings?
Right.
All the time. All the time.
Say they're going to be there.
And then they don't show up.
Right.
Yeah. You know, so at the end of the day, the old saying is don't talk about it, be about it. Because we're going to move on. I learned years ago that strength is not always in numbers. Because it could be a million cats acting like they down wearing a T-shirt, but at the end of the day, only a handful of them is out there grinding and doing the work. So
we see it daily.
Yeah, without a doubt. Speaking of T-shirt, man, you know what? When you stood up a minute murder, I almost wore that same shirt tonight. I'm glad I didn't.
Well,
man.
great minds think alike.
Well, you know, but great minds think alike, but dudes shouldn't dress alike.
I like that one.
I like that.
I might have had to put my jacket on and zip it all the way up.
Yeah, you can't dress alike.
Shout out to the homie JD, man, for them shirts, man.
Already.
But let me ask you this, Clee.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see yourself being as involved in community as you are now? Did you see that for yourself at a younger age?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah. I always knew that because I always had opinion.
Yeah.
I always had something to say.
Right.
If you said this, I'm going, But what about
right.
this?
Yeah.
No, because if she did this, and I always fought for what was right. All the times that everybody known Cliche for acting a fool from back in the game. I mean, literally, everybody know me from, oh, she finna come, here she come, oh Lord. You know what I mean? And as little as I am, they used to be amazed when they actually meet me, when they heard about all the stuff I done back then. Back in the days, y'all go, thank God for change. If I tell you. But I was fighting for what I believed what was right. That's why I fought with so much passion. But then I had to learn that God was saying, okay, but you're not supposed to do it like that. You know, I used to feel like people, like God used to tell me that some people needed their swoop.
Yeah.
I used to feel like I really believed that. I really believe. No, I believe that wholeheartedly. So I really, and I didn't care if you was a dude. I didn't care if you was 8 feet tall.
So you have to lay them hands on them, huh?
I didn't care. I mean, it was just that I was fighting. I feel like if I'm fighting for what's right, God got me. Yeah. But you know, he also told me, you know, it was another way to get across what I truly believed in and what I was trying to get across to actually be heard, that there's a certain way that I have to do it, because everybody can't hear you when you're screaming.
Right.
That's right.
You know, or you acting out. They paying attention to your act more so than what your purpose was.
Right.
So.
Well, that's what it looked like. We got a call on the line.
Somebody want to talk to Clay?
We're going to take that caller. Let's go ahead and put on with Cliche. Let's rock it out. What's up, caller? Who am I speaking with?
This is Ty.
Say it again.
This is Ty.
Hey,
How you doing?
I had to call. I'm like, it's time to call. It's time to call.
Well, go ahead on. Go ahead on. Holla at
Talk
Clee.
to us.
Well, Miss Cliche, hello, my sister.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I only caught part of the interview because I was doing something else and I jumped back on. And one thing, and I remember this from a while ago, and it's something K-Rino had actually said about not, you know, people that don't waste words. And I always felt that you were someone that does not waste words.
All right, thank you.
And, you know, and what you give your energy to. The question I do have is that being at this point in your career, you know, your professional life, your personal life, your life as a mother, where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself going, and possibly leaving, not necessarily leaving like you're going somewhere, but showing the next generation of women. And the reason why I ask that is because we are in a state with our young women now that the only thing that a lot of them feel that they have is just they're behind and, you know, what they can offer physically.
Right.
And the mental is not being developed. So in that sense, what do you feel you could leave for this next generation of women?
Thank you, Ty.
That's a good question too. That's a great question. Thank you, Ty, for asking that, because this is my purpose of being on social media. I was just telling Kay that I wouldn't be on social media if I wasn't a music artist. Now, what I could leave for them is when you see me on social media, I show you the real raw me. When I say me, not the artist cliche. The artist cliche is me, though. Most people are trying to be their artist selves than being themselves, if you know what I mean. For me, I like to show a woman that don't ever sell who you really are short for trying to be who you think you want to be as a music artist, as a Instagram superstar, a Facebook superstar. Be comfortable in the natural you. I want to leave that to say that I'm going to be natural and regular. I want to meet people at their level. I'm no different than you, so you can be able to receive what I'm trying to give to you. So that's why I get on there, my hair not combed. I get on there with no makeup. I don't wear makeup unless I'm doing a show. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I don't have time to put the makeup on for the show. You know what I'm saying? But cause I'm still cute regardless. I'm happy with who I am. I ain't gotta wear the straight hair all the time. You might catch me in my afro, you might catch me with my wig on, you might catch me with my ponytail, you might, however, but I'm always be presentable. But I always want to show women that it's okay to just be yourselves, as well as being such of a great person in your career, whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? That you could be a successful person in your career, but you don't have to always look like you some made up doll.
Yeah, and that's just, I think people relate to that more because everyday life is real. That industry persona that a lot of people see, that's not real. That's just you glammed up, and even the guys, they just iced up, and that's too much maintenance for somebody to actually be like that 24 hours
every
a day.
Day.
So people relate more when they see one of their favorite artists. They see a cliche. They could see, I don't care if it's Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, if they see them, oh, she ain't got no makeup on today. You know, that to me relaxes a lot of fans and females like, oh, I ain't got to try to live up to that. I can be myself.
Because let me tell you something, Kay, you ain't no woman, so I can tell you that, and you probably already know, but you know how long it takes for them girls to make up their face. Let me tell you something. It takes you an hour, just probably, not you, but a girl, to go and take a shower and put her clothes on. Yeah. That's 1 hour. Right. Then you're going to take about an hour or two just for your makeup alone. Don't have to do your hair too. This is half a day. Right. You feel me? That's too much. Yeah. And don't have no kids, and you got to do it. I can't do that. That's what turned me to wigs. Yeah. Just to make the process, like I said, I had to change up stuff when I had the kids to make it all fit with the time management. So I found something that was convenient for time, that I ain't got to be flat out in my natural or doing something, my hair, throw that wig on right quick. You know what I'm saying? To make it happen.
And then in the end, a real artist, that artist's talent is what's supposed to sustain and speak for you in the long run.
Exactly.
Because it don't matter how much they glam you up.
That's right.
When it's time for us to hear you and see you, we're going to be able to determine if it's authentic or if it's just industry manufactured and concocted.
Which like what is happening today in today's music, and especially with a lot of our female artists that the majors are getting behind. It's not about talent. It's not about skills. It's all about the fake boobs, the fake butt, and the weave and everything else but talent. Right. But that. You know what I mean? I love good music. Don't get me wrong. I listen to, like, I don't have nothing against the new schoolers and they mumble rap and all of that. They can have that because I still believe I'm an artist, so it's still an art to me. So, you know, but it might not be an art that I listen to or enjoy, but I respect it because it's still your art and that's your craft. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But there is a difference.
Yeah, no question.
In a certain type of craft. Right. You got certain authentic crafts that are thoroughly, you know, mapped out, and then you got those that's just on the surface created.
Yeah, you got roots and you got branches.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, and you can break the branch, but the tree gonna still survive. But if you get rid of the root, but the root is what keeps it going. Now, in the thing with you, that goes all the way back, takes this whole interview full circle, because we spoke about your longevity and your consistency, but we didn't speak about the reasons behind that, and it's exactly what you said. Is because the music is rooted in realness.
Right.
So if it's rooted in realness, now you got a cliche 20 years later.
Yeah.
If the opposite was the case, I remember cliche. I remember that name Cliche from back in the day. She'd have been gone already. You know, so we got about 5 or 6 more minutes. But what I want to do real quick, before I forget, he gonna kill me. I want to shout out to my brother K Water out there on lot.
K Water,
Wallace Pack Unit, man. Everybody that's
free
out there.
K Water.
Ferguson, Polanski, everybody out there, man. K Water, you know what it is, bro. You know I love you, boy. And you know he be home soon. Y'all know what time it is,
right?
Man. Y'all know what time it is. Also, before we go, Cliche, please talk about the new album with you and DJ Tricky C, and let them know how they can get that.
All right, DJ Tricky C, you might as well get your mic on this. You know my baby don't be talking that much,
I
but
know, man, he's the Sodden Assassin.
Let me tell y'all something. This is not an album, but everybody be calling it an album.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a mixtape, because he is a DJ. So, you know, it's right. And actually, to be honest, this is the first real mixtape that I done, because I called all my other Hustle Horrors mixtapes, but them was all original songs. I call them mixtapes because I put them out to the streets.
Right.
But this one is the first one I actually got with a DJ. Well, DJ got with me and was like, hey, I got this concept of, you know, he been having a concept in his mind for a long time he wanted to do, and where he was going to ask somebody else to do it with him a long time ago.
Right.
But he never got a chance to do it until he got with Cliche.
Wow.
And that's where the title, he came up with the title, he's a DJ, I'm a rapper.
Wow.
And he came up with all the tracks, you know, like if he was doing a mix, he came with all the tracks he wanted me to rap on.
Right.
All I did was my part. What I say I be wanting to do in the industry, I just want to rap.
Right.
So that was a big thing for me. I ain't gonna say that's all I did, because y'all know I did all the other stuff too.
Yeah, you know better.
I did all the recording and the mixing and the mastering and the putting it all together in the Cubase and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, and the covers and printing them out and cut them up and package them up and
Came out real good.
How can they get it?
Thank you.
I love MissHouston.net.
I love MissHouston.net. That's the website, the mixtape. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Y'all make sure that y'all support. Y'all talk all that noise about H-Town, H-Town, H-Town. Everybody in H-Town can make this thing pop off if we would support each other. We've been saying this for years and years and years.
That's right.
Just do it and see what happens.
But you best believe, soon as that mainstream artist come out, all up and down the timeline, everybody talking about how they went and got it. But we got great, legendary, professional, beautiful sounding artists right here in our city who are just as good or better in most cases, and we need to get out and support. Now, as usual, right when we getting off the air, the phone lines start blowing up.
Yeah, they
so
blowing.
we're gonna try to take a couple, but let's go right now. Who am I speaking with?
It's Brother Richard.
Brother Richard.
Club Boomerang.
Salam alaikum, big brother Richard. Way back in the day,
How's it going, big brother?
big brother, you got about 40. You got about 40 seconds.
We started that.
Give me about 40 seconds.
Brother. Me and you go back years.
You got about 40 seconds, brother Richard. Holla at Cliche.
Back in the club days, you kept peace in the community, because whenever we had trouble in the club, the first person we looked for is Brother K-Rino. And you kept the peace on that whole south side. And probably a lot of nights I went home to my family because of you. And sister, you keep up the good work too.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother Richard. You call in anytime. I'm gonna give you a holler too, family. You know I love you. Okay, we gonna keep it rolling.
Hey, I know time gotta go, but I got a new single that's out called Win, featuring C-Note and ESG as well. Y'all can get that from my website.
We'll say the website again.
I love MissHouston.net.
Already. Caller, who we got?
Hey, I'm on this shit. What's up, family?
What's up?
Hey, you got about 40 seconds. Shoot your question to Cliche.
I just want to show y'all some love, man. I done showed up to them ARC meetings and everything. Y'all really making a difference out here in these streets, man. And Cliche, I just want you to know, since day one, you showed real love to your boy, and it's truly appreciated.
Already. Much love.
So, it's sick, man. Just want y'all to know I'm gonna fight it here.
All right.
Thank you so much, my brother. We got one more last caller tonight. Go ahead. You got about 60
Already,
seconds.
last but not least, it's your boy JD. I just got to get shout outs from folks.
JD!
Man, I love it.
What
man.
up,
y'all
JD?
doing it. Y'all make me believe in what y'all doing right now. It's like, hold up, they right in my backyard. So keep doing your thing, cliche.
Already,
And
bro.
he's the rapper. Hey, I mean, she's the rapper. He's the DJ. What up, DJ Tricky C? Say, stay on my dick. Y'all support what we got. I'm telling you, don't be late. You got to catch it up. We got to catch up on them. You got all them old CDs I got to get.
That's right.
Thank you so much, JD. Again, man,
Alrighty.
you know, just worldwide love, H-Town love.
Yeah, we love you,
and,
Miss Houston.
That's what we got to
I love you
establish.
too.
We got to make this thing to where we view our own people from the city of Houston as bigger stars as we view the people we see on TV, here on the radio all the time, because we can't make any distinction between. We got to lift ourselves on actually on a higher pedestal. So, Clee,
Yo.
you know what it is, man. I thank you so much for coming through and blessing us. Tricky C, blessing us with your presence.
Thank you.
And it's nothing but love. Keisto, my brother, you know, I want to send love to you, man. You know, my brother, he lost his father, and he been soldiering, man, like crazy, man, in a time where a lot of people wouldn't be able to really push through like that. So appreciate you, brother, for being a soldier and still coming through, because it'd have been totally understandable, you know, if you wouldn't hear. Young Pro is in the building also, man. Murder, give him your info real quick before we jump off.
Yeah. Facebook is M1 S.P.C. Thomas. Instagram is Murder MURDRSPC 86. Same thing on Twitter.
Black Cat.
Yeah, you can reach me Instagram. Man, South Park Black Cat. Y'all get at me.
Did you get your information?
No, at Cliche for Real, CLCHE, the number 4 real.
Y'all get that, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. Thank y'all for tuning in to K-Rino Radio. We'll see y'all again next Friday, 11 p.m., man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We love y'all, man. Peace.